then this is connected to the mortar, right? That's not an issue, you say? Well, it really is. Because the way that these walls, which I've called, I think in video 1 or 2, I called them funneling walls. This lets them bypass, attacking this and destroying this lets them bypass the funneling walls. So they'd break in here, they'd kill this, and then they'd come over here and hit this spring trap. They would get to avoid this spring trap, which I don't want them to be able to do. Hope that makes sense. That's sort of why, even if I could tighten that up a little bit, I'm not going to. Also, I could, like, say, do this right here. Right there. That's the same thing, so the red doesn't get in. They can't attack this corner wall that I was talking about, but there's no real advantage or disadvantage to this either way. Is there an advantage? No. It's basically the same. In the very, very unlikely situation that one of the walls was destroyed by a bomber coming in, there's a chance that this would be slightly weaker, but that's like literally 1 in 10,000 attacks. Pretty irrelevant. Also, having this big gap in here with a bunch of spaces, I think there's like 5 spaces, yeah. So this gap between these walls where I'm clicking, that spot looks sort of scary. Like, people might think I threw traps in there or something if they don't know how skilled I am at placing stuff down. So I'm going to leave those holes there, so they might think, oh, bombs are in there, oh, spring traps are in there, we're not going to attack through there. Okay, let's see how our training is doing. Oops, wrong one. I keep doing this on video. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, this is 4 minutes out, so... Okay, I'm going to cut this section, the video section out, and so this will all be in one video, but starting in a second, it's going to snap to when we're ready to attack. See you guys soon. Okay, everyone, so welcome back. We got 20 seconds till this last unit finishes up, this giant right here. So I was just going to take a second and talk about my base and defenses once again. So I talked briefly earlier in this video about how we're going to target the defensive structures first when we attack someone's base. So what makes our base so good is because you can't attack the defenses very easily. So let's say you've got our standard army composition: giants, archers, barbarians, goblins, whatever you want, a little bit of each. So you can do whatever you want, basically. So say you want to destroy these structures. What's the problem? Oops. What do you want? What's the problem with getting in here? Well, the first problem is you got all this crap out here. And all this crap out here is exactly intended to stop you from placing archers to kill you from over the walls. That's what the real benefit of having all of these guys out here. I mean, sure, they could steal our elixir, but I'd rather have them steal our elixir than get in here and kill the cannons and then steal absolutely everything. That's how I see it. They also in our base, we got these walls to separate giants from just walking through, destroying one, and then continuing on to the next, and the next, and the next. They got to destroy some walls in the middle to get from the left side to the right side, or bottom left to top right. And finally, these walls and everything, they don't have any spawn point breaks in them. So I'll zoom out a little bit and I'll move some buildings. And when you move a building, you see this white line that appears around the outside? I'll just keep moving it so you see it. It's all around the outside. It's one larger than every single building out here, and every single wall, and every single everything, basically. What that is that's the red box when we're attacking an enemy. That's the can't spawn in here area. So you'll notice we don't actually have any white holes in our base like that guy did before. So you see, like right here on the right side where I'm moving this mine, like you could spawn right there where I'm tapping. The last guy's base we saw had he had a huge wall. Like, his walls, you might think were used way more efficiently than mine, because they covered a much, much bigger area. Well, the problem was, he couldn't fill up the entire inside of that with the buildings. So I was just able to spawn right on into it with some of my archers. So, I mean, what's the point of having walls if, the enemy starts behind them? Nothing. Come on, guys, really? So, okay. Army's now full. That's why our base is good, I think. I know. I'll say I know for that one. I'll stop being modest. Okay, let's look at these sort of guys. Ooh, that's a good resource count. Okay, this guy is pretty good with base defense. Couldn't get to the mortar straight away. Level 16, so he's equal to us, but decently well upgraded defenses. None of them are under construction, which means they would all fire back. He also has his clan castle rebuilt. I'm gonna skip this. One other thing I want to talk about is I mentioned earlier in this video how both the workers are occupied. So what does that really mean? That means whatever we manage to steal here, we're going to have to wait for the workers to finish building their current constructions before we can actually spend it. With a few exceptions. We could spend some on decorations, which don't require builders, But if we want to upgrade walls, if we want to upgrade buildings, we want to upgrade turrets, whatever it is, pretty much is all going to need a worker. This guy doesn't have enough resources. So that means it's better to raid before you build with your last worker. This is sort of weird. He's got it all spread out. Sort of typical of a noob. He thinks maybe more spread out is better for some reason. I don't know. You sort of see this though. Interesting use of walls with the gold storage in there. But once again, despite how terrible the base is, we're mostly going to be after resources. Okay, here. So this, folks, is what you call most likely a booster. So these people are stay low level to grind, and they try to get gold and get upgrades like I was mentioning before. This is a higher level one doing it. So I meant to mention before, see this gold box right here next to the gold thing where I'm clicking? That's the gold indicator, how full it is. So we are going to attack this base because it's got a crap ton of gold. And it's also got a crap ton of elixir, but we don't really need elixir. So whoop-de-doo for that. Interesting, this guy also only had 2 defenses. I don't see any in the corners, which means he probably destroyed them before they removed the sell button in the last patch. So he's probably been boosting for a while, which is sort of interesting to see. I guess I'll put down the goblins to help out. This isn't going to be a problem to destroy this base. I'm just going to put these down for good luck. As you can see, despite me putting archers right here, sometimes they attack this town center, the town hall, rather than the closest thing, which is the cannon. There's a little bit of randomness to it. You can also deploy units by holding. I generally don't do that, as you'll notice. I'll do this sometimes if I, say, want to deploy all of the rest of my archers, all 10 of these I currently have selected, I will hold it down. But if I only want to deploy some of them, I generally just tap so I don't over-deploy. So in this battle, this is sort of a silly battle, but it sort of gives you an example of damage and DPS and how they move. These guys just go from this closest to the next closest to the next closest, and they'll just keep working their way on this way. Meanwhile, these goblins I put down, they'll just keep working their way this way. If, for example, I put a goblin right here, the goblin would ignore all these because they're not resource buildings, and would come over here. Oh, you see that message right there on the top? Opponent shield upgraded for 16 hours. You can rewind the video about 5 seconds if you missed it and want to see it. It's not that important. What that means is we just did 90% damage to their base. So if you get defeated, which you haven't yet been, there's 2 things that happen. One is you'll get a shield, period. You get the first shield when you get 40%, which actually means you can get a shield without being destroyed, which is pretty friendly. But the other thing that happens is you can get a shield, you can get an even longer shield. That's a 12-hour shield. You get an even longer shield, a 16-hour shield, if they destroy 90% of your base. And if they destroy 90%, they're probably going to destroy 100%. So that's the sort of consolation prize right there for getting your ass kicked up and down in a battle. But that's that. Okay, so a great successful raid, although it didn't really feel that challenging. But always nice to have some gold to throw around. So in 1 hour and 7 minutes, as you can see from this guy, maybe I'll come back and upgrade our walls a bit farther. I probably won't do that on video because it's not going to be that interesting. Just let you know what's going on. I'll probably also start a turret upgrade if I can. Can I? Let me check that. Nope. Yep. So we can't. Once we're upgraded, we've got our max level for this. So we'll probably start gold storage because, as you might have seen, this needs 150,000. Our maximum is currently 101,000. So upgrading this gold storage will bring us up to 250,000 just for this gold storage, plus another 1,000 from the town hall. Sorry, there's a lot of numbers thrown at you. Anyways, I'll probably be starting a gold storage upgrade and upgrading walls off video. Hope you guys enjoyed this session. Hope you learned something as well. If you have any questions or have anything you want me to talk about in a future video, feel free to just leave it in the comment. PM me on Reddit, PM me in Clan Chat if you happen to be in one of the Reddit clans. I'm in both Alpha and Reddit, so let me know. I'll see you guys around. Bye.